Sneaking, an essential part in the game of stealth. Slow movements, waiting, observing, not an act of frustration, rather a necessity. Even in the big, adventurous world of Skyrim, the personal engagement required to clear a room or complete objectives undetected is oh so empowering and thrilling. Whether as a pickpocketing thief, secretive assassin, or mischievous adventurer, the game of stealth is one quite many of us enjoy. But that does not mean it doesn't leave anything to be desired. There is much more that can be added to these adrenaline-filled moments of preciseness to sneak, steal, and spy under the nose of your enemies.
What was that?
So welcome ladies and gentlemen to a pretty straightforward video where you and I will be delving into the world of unlawful thieves, crooks, and beggars to look at a nice bunch of somewhat recent, neat, and simple Skyrim mods that together will provide you with a much improved stealthy experience. This is the simplistic Skyrim stealth overhaul. Alright, so to start off on our stealth overhaul journey, let's take a look at the way our character behaves and moves while sneaking. I know a lot of you, with all the improvement we've gotten thanks to mods, enjoy playing in third person. The vanilla sneaking animation is far from the worst thing in the world, but replacing it with something new and different kind of freshen things up a bit and make the third-person camera stealth experience that much better. And a mod I've been using for this specific reason for quite a while now is Everglade's relaxed sneak animations. I already covered it back when it came out. It essentially tweaks the sneaking animation to something more laid back and, well, as the title suggests, relaxed. Now, while it works perfectly in most situations, it doesn't quite fit what we need for these essential moments when you're really trying to stay out of sight. Which is why I present you to the various mods from Verolevy's Vanargand Animations. Each one of these makes sure to have you covered with some Metal Gear Solid type sneaking, both when prowling about unarmed and for when you're looking to silently thin out a herd of enemies. Starting with the standard animations for the sneak idle and movement, I just love how you slowly kinda tiptoe along when you move around, like some light-feathered thief on the hunt for gold, or a cat ready to pounce at their prey. The animations capture that devious, up-to-no-good mindset that is linked with sneaking, and should you be carrying weapons, there's the second part. Sneak thrust attacks for when holding a sword or dagger in the right hand. Not only does it adjust the sneaking to the weapons, but it also provides animations for normal and power attacks. The third part, Sneak Strike Attacks, covers the same, only for when holding an axe or a hammer in the right hand. If you're looking to dual wield when sneaking, there's Dual Wield Sneak Thrusts, covering the swords and daggers, and Dual Wield Sneak Strikes for axes and maces. And last, there's the Sneak Archery and Sneak Crossbows mods, so using all of these together will provide you with a damn near perfect sneaking experience. But to enhance the stealth aspect of Skyrim, we need to do more than altering animations. In specific, the base stealth mechanics that are in place are in need of some changes and improvements. And a mod that does that and more is Olivier Durenbu's realistic AI detection, better known as RAID. This incredible recalibration of Skyrim's detection formula, which rebalances and adds more realism to the sneaking, is close to racking up 1 million total downloads on Nexus. So it's a mod I'm guessing most of you watching are quite familiar with. But a more recent mod I do not believe all of you are as familiar with is Raid Weathers. Yes, a weather modification, and a good one at that. Pushing the envelope of stealth mechanics even further, Raid Weathers is the first weather mod specifically optimized for stealth and combat detection balance. But what does that mean, you might ask? It means that hours upon hours have been put in to make it so that what you're visually able to see in front of you is the same as what enemies can see. Darkness affects visibility and the NPC's ability to detect you. The effects of bad weather are fully simulated as the enemy struggles to make you out through blinding rain, thickets of snow, and dense fog. There are even differences in biomes. And on top of all of this is the fact that the weather mod itself looks really good. Based on the familiar ELFX weathers, it's been heavily overhauled and offers some of the best rains, snows, and fogs with mighty powerful storms, both vibrant and mild weather variations, as well as skies that affect the tint of surrounding elements on the ground. It really is incredible. Now, you might draw parallels to another mod that was released earlier this year, Dynamic Weather and Time-Based Detection by Monitor 144Hz. that at the end of the day aims to do a similar thing when it comes to environmental-based detection, while being compatible with pretty much all the weather overhauls out there. But take a quick peek at the list of compatible mods, and you'll see Raid Weathers. That's right, the two mods do not make one or the other obsolete, they actually work quite nicely together. Raid Weathers optimizes detection at the core weather record level, making it superior and more reliable when it comes to visual detection, but the other mod's scripting approach is the only way to implement conditional sound detection for those instances when you want that penalty to NPC hearing during the rain. Also, the mod configuration menu customization it provides can also be useful for tweaking the visual detection, as well as to avoid stacking the similar features of the two mods. And so, we're left with three similar yet different types of mods in Raid, Dynamic Weather and Time-Based Detection, and Raid Weathers that can nicely complement each other to overhaul the overall stealth and NPC detection. And while we're still on the topic of detection, if we take a look at the standard indication of detection in Skyrim, you know, the classic eye opening and closing one, it's a little bit lacking in terms of what we're after for this specific video. And so, we can use Detection Meter by Maxu and William Swang. Taking inspiration from more modern action games with stealth mechanics, this mod implements a new UI feature with a white arrow bar on screen, pointing in the direction of the target that has detected you. The more filled up it is, the higher the detection value. If you're not able to sneak away in time, the bar will start shaking and turn red, indicating your enemy's combat state and that they're coming to take your head off. Simple and effective. Knowing what direction you're being detected from makes a big difference. There's even some customization options out there for you to pick from, with Archery's Another Color mod providing you with a set of different colors to pick from, and the stylized Nordic Alert preset by William Swang, quite fitting for those of you using Nordic UI. If a whole new addition to the UI for detection isn't enough for you, or maybe you just want to increase the visual effect of being detected by someone, or in this case, something, there's a quite fancy and aesthetic JS Emissive Eyes by John Skyrim. Quite a creative mod that adds a glowing overlay with ENB particle light to the eyes of enemy NPCs. Now that's cool enough, but what makes it fit nicely into our stealth overhaul is how the color of the eyes change based on combat status. So when you're out sneaking about, maybe in some scary cave and you're trying to swiftly make it past some Draugr but get caught lacking, their glowing eyes will change color to something like a fitting red once they see you, just adding an extra sense of alarm or wow factor to the whole situation while you try to either scramble your way out of there or get yourself ready to fight. And it's not just a Draugr the mod affects, it touches many more, like Ashhoppers and Ashspawn, Gargoyles, Vampires, Hagravens, Giants, Spriggans, Trolls, Werebears and Werewolves, all those quirky dwarven automatons, Seekers, Lurkers, even Reeklings, Skeevers, and many more. As many of these creatures are somewhat magical, Emissive Eyes just adds on to that, making them more epic, and in the case of the creepy insects like the Charas, well, let's just say you might want to head the other way. In addition, the included mod configuration menu gives you controls over which colors the different monsters will use when they're in and out of combat, as well as an option to turn the effects off. And the creative mods do not stop here. Who better to look for when it comes to some newfound ingenuity than the mod author Jay Serpa, with the mod Take a Peek, introducing a new stealth mechanic by simply allowing the player to take a sneaky peek at what's going on behind doors. What essentially happens here as the peeking animation plays is that the player is technically teleported to the other side with restricted vision. You can't interact with NPCs inside, and likewise they cannot see you. And in the case you're actually looking to make your way into some of these locked rooms, there isn't a better mod I can recommend than Security Overhaul Lock Variations by Krysta, Whacking Skeever, and Power of 3. This mod replaces overused lock bottles with very unique variants. Not only do these new locks look visually stunning, but they come with their own sound effects based on the door or chest you're lockpicking. And definitely make sure to get all the add-ons, so you get the special locks for stuff like underwater chests and the cool looking Soul Cairn one. Delve further into the lockpicking madness with the regional lock editions, where each major city and area get their own creatively crafted locks. Should you want even more, there's Priest 47's mod that adds some additional individual locks to the game. Next, for all you looters who never seem to get enough loot, there's Ranking Skiver's most recent version of Dynamic Things Alternative. Have you ever walked into a room filled with all kinds of trinkets and stuff, but you find yourself not able to really do anything with what's in front of you? I mean, any real looter with a thieving mind would do the best they can to completely yoink any and everything within their vicinity, and with Dynamic Things Alternative, you now can. Are there mounted animal heads on the wall? Harvest them for ingredients. Wall baskets? Grab that feather. Mead casks and barrels? Get that mead. Just like how the standard dad eats all them leftovers at the dinner table, you can completely rinse these items for all they have to offer. The mod also turns certain stuff in the world space into lootable containers, and gives you a reason to interact with archery targets and dummies, as they actually improve your skill now. And to further improve the overall looting, I highly recommend Read or Take by Power of 3, a plugin that allows you to take control over whether you want to read or take books. This works by simply holding a hotkey set to shift by default. Then there's Ashen's Pickup Radius, a mod that will enrich your looting experience by letting you pick up the same or similar items in a close radius. Better third-person selection by Shrimp Raider is a must for third-person looting. It rewrites Skyrim's crosshair selection to work more in line with popular third-person RPGs, and it makes picking up smaller items a lot easier. To make maneuvering the tight spaces of the looting world less tedious, I suggest Snake Dog's edited version of No Collision Camera called Some Collision Camera. So now that we've improved the overall looting experience, it's time for a type of mod I doubt many of you'd expect to see in this video. Footstep Sounds Restored. See, when a master thief is doing what a thief does, you know, tiptoeing around in the silent night, sound becomes a subject of extreme focus, and this mod by Exaldron completes and re-implements all the high-quality sounds that were made under the development of the game, but left out for release. From sounds of different types of armors rustling and the sound made when walking, running, and sneaking on different terrain, the mod elevates the audible level of the game, something you'll notice on your stealth excursions. And another thing you probably already have noticed about our beloved game is how there's no sneak attack damage multipliers for magic. But luckily, Power of 3's comes in clutch again, with the mod Magic Sneak Attacks, triggering sneak attacks when crouching and undetected. It works with all schools of magic and simply makes sneaking around as a mage a lot more enjoyable. I mean, there are a ton of spells in the game made to confuse and disorient enemies, so adding another element of stealth to the playstyle just works. And we're still not done with the Power of 3 mods. Next is Enhance Invisibility, affecting a spell that literally provides mages a stealthier approach. The mod improves it and fixes various visual bugs to make the invisibility experience a bit better on the eyes. It tweaks the invisibility shader and the refraction you'll see in your character and armor. Anything visible through your character in third person will be more distorted. Arrows and blood splatter becomes invisible now as well. And while the neat feature of the spell not being dispelled when activating items and objects is left out of the SE version, you can get the same effect with Math 3-to-1's Uninterrupted Invisibility. And now, a couple of mods and minutes later from when we started, we've got ourselves quite the stealth overhaul. So what now? Well, even thieves need a place to relax and call home, and for many, that is down in the Rift and Sewers. Here's GG's Thieves Guild headquarters by the incredible GG unit. This is a complete rework of the Thieves Guild Cistern cell that turns it into more of a base of operation. Right away, you'll come to notice the newly added layers of layout awesomeness. What I'm trying to say is that the mod adds a lot. From new architecture to new rooms, some of them belonging to existing NPCs and more fun clutter that makes sense. It brings new life into the entire area. Almost everything is dynamic, from displayed treasure in the treasure room to the entire guild itself. The area corresponds to the progression of the Thieves Guild quest line. So when you're above ground putting effort into these quests, you can come back to new surprises. Maybe say hello to the newly added NPCs as well. There's Smellfish the Khajiit, Smells Like Gwar the Argonian trader, and Plantstream, the female Argonian managing the new warehouse area. The overhaul also includes new training areas, beautiful reworked lighting, and some additional secrets I'll let you experience for yourselves. But if the headquarters is a bit too much and you're more of an introverted thieving lowlife, there's the small player home mod, Grifter's Den Ratway Sewer Home by Ario. And when I say small, I mean small. Still, it provides you with most of the stuff needed to have a good time and go about your day, like a training dummy, quirky crafting stations, and this small figurine model of a bigger house. And there's skooma pipes, yup. All in all, it's cozy, you know, it does what it sets out to do quite perfectly. A compact little manhole in the Ratway sewers. So with that, ladies and gents, we've got our stealth overhaul. So the only thing left for you to do is go install the mods, and while you're at it, endorse them on Nexus to let the modders know just how much you appreciate their amazing work. Also, do let me know which one of the mods you enjoyed the most down in the comments. Maybe bless my heart with a cheeky like of the video as well. And go check out my new collaborative channel with Sin and Burnsy called Tryhards. With that, this has been Gim. May your road lead you to warm sands, everyone. See ya!